Alrighty, we are officially live, peeps. Today is Saturday, May 23rd, 7 p.m. I started about a minute early, but this is it. Let's do it. Let's do a live stream. Let's talk to you all about what's going on in plumbing. I'm calling these things plum streams now, by the way. Um, Got some shades for the blue light that I'm looking at right now. So today, basically, we're going to see if people can pop on and just have a conversation about what everything is turning out to be for everybody, how everything is with the COVID-19, how at work is, questions about plumbing, questions about anything that's going on. We got somebody here. What's happening? What's going on? How's it going? Two peeps in already. Cool, cool, cool. We are live, peeps. Just so you know, I think I turned on the super chat last week. If you guys want to support the channel, you could always, whatever denomination of money you want to put in, always helps, and it'll go straight towards doing editing and doing videos and stuff like that. So don't you worry, I ain't gonna make off with it and buy burgers with it. So let me know what's going on. What's happening, peeps? What's going on? Angel Guzman, what's going on? How are you? How's it going wherever you're living? Are you working right now, Angel? Should I call you just Angel or Angel? How I said it the first time. Anyways, what's going on with work? Are you doing plumbing right now, or are you guys quarantined, or what's happening? Let me know the deets, the dirty deets. So I had a couple of calls this week. I did a couple of drains. I snaked a drain this week. I snaked a couple of drains this week. Uh, Guys, I got to tell you, I thought I was under the impression that I almost really scary. There was a moment where I just got knocked down by this fatigue, and it was Wednesday night, and I was just feeling just totally totally beaten up. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what the heck was going on. So what I ended up doing was like taking the night off, but I had this feeling like I just couldn't breathe very well. And as soon as that's happening, you're thinking to yourself, man, it's this might be it. You know, this might be COVID. And so the following day, I had to get up and I started walking around. And I felt the same way, and then I got a bunch of calories in me. And I found that once the calories kicked in, I started feeling better. But there was a momentary scare where I thought it had happened. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple of peeps in here, people popping in and out. Um, I I guess Ryan Owens, talk to me on the stream, baby. What's going on? Oh, we got a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Ryan, are you working right now? If you're on the stream, what's going on with you? So yeah, I had a moment of a scare, man. I thought two thumbs up, you sweet people. I appreciate you. So if this isn't gonna get a lot of people, then I might be backing out at some point. But we'll see what's going on. So what's happening out there? Talk to me. Oh, still busy working, Owens. Owens, what's going on? Are you still on the same job site, or are you doing a different job site? By the way, peeps, Ryan is a good buddy from plumbing school. He's in the union here in Ontario, and the union, from everything he's told me in the past, is still going strong. They are limiting the amount of tradespersons on the job sites, but they are still going strong and still working throughout this thing, which is a good thing. Got more peeps in the house. What's happening? Let me know how you doing. So what else? Yeah, I did a couple of drains this week. Man, all I can really start thinking about is the fact that I thought I got sick. I thought I got sick. For 2 days, I thought I was down, but by the third day, I was like, yeah, still working at a TTC bus garage, working on a big list of deficiencies. Oh no, Owens, was it installation deficiencies? Is that what we're talking about right now? Are you picking up the slack with the other workers there, or what's going on? 3 likes, appreciate that. Oh man, oh man, it's been hard to keep the energy up, man. And it's beautiful here in Ontario now. It was, man, it must have been 23, 24 degrees today. I don't even know what the weather was. We're talking about degrees Celsius, by the way, peeps. Let me check the weather today. David, let's talk some delicious plumbing tonight. Yes, please, let's do. Give me a second. The weather was fantastic, and I just want to tell you all how beautiful it was in Toronto. Toronto, man, my weather app is not working. This phone that I'm using is old. David, what's going on? What's happening with you wherever you are? Toronto was 21 degrees today. So yeah, David, I thought I got sick this week. Legitimately, on Wednesday, I came down with this nasty fatigue. Beautiful weather here in Kentucky as well. Until last hour or so, rain, rain, rain. No rain here in Toronto, but wicked, wicked weather. Glad the bluegrass is doing well. Owens is saying no more like missing floor drain or hub covering, shower temperature needed, adjustment, and yeah, a few spots picking up the slack. Owens is a buddy of mine from the union here in Toronto. He's just doing some deficiencies, he said, on the job site he's been working on. He's been working on a big TTC garage. It's a big bus garage, essentially, which is public transport here in Ontario. I would love to go there. TTC, yeah, that's right. Toronto, oh man, what a Toronto Transit something. Corporation? I'm going to go with that. Ryan Owens, what's the C stand for in TTC? But it's public transit, essentially, David. David, you do any work this week, or are you guys taking time off? What's happening? And I hope that water doesn't come up here from Kentucky, man. If it starts raining here, man, I think you just jinxed us. I think that's what's happening. So, I got a vlog coming out for you all tomorrow. It's a little bit of an interesting one. Laid off due to lack of work due to virus. Yeah, that's right, Dave. Sorry. You tell me this every week. I got to start memorizing it, man. Are they talking about you guys getting back on track with that? Are they even mentioning when that might happen? Or is everything still shut down in Kentucky? July. You know what? You're only a couple of weeks away. No, you're about 6 weeks away. 5-6 weeks away. All right. Hopefully July. Fingers crossed, man. I'm hoping you the best. Patrick Kenny, what's that ProPress? Patrick, every time Patrick brings up ProPress. Patrick, I'm waiting for you to come down. We talked about this. I'm waiting. Come down. Oh, no, you're coming up. You're coming up to see me. That's right. We're opening slowly. Good, Dave. I'm glad to hear that. Patrick, you work a lot this week. What's been happening? Last time you were here, you were having a steak. You had to apologize to your wife, sir, for not getting to the table fast enough. I remember. Hope that steak was delicious. So, Owens, you're missing floor drains? No more. Like missing floor drains. Dude, you had to put in a missing floor drain, Owens? If you're still there? Yep. So, okay, that's the big story for this week. I actually thought I got sick. On Wednesday, I came down with fatigue and like major fatigue. I felt like I was exhausted and I just couldn't catch my breath. Every time I stand up, I'd be like, dude, I'm out of breath for some reason. Now, one thing that I do know about myself is every time I get really dehydrated, I get into that state for some reason. I notice that I start hyperventilating, just not feeling great. So I chugged as much water. I got more calories in me the next day, and I felt fine. So that was a scare. Those things, man, can be a big deal. Ryan is saying in a couple of weeks, I think they actually want me to do some drone footage of the building. You'll share, buddy Owens. If you need a drone operator, I know a guy. You know what I'm saying? Not licensed, but I know a guy. Just prepared scallops for the first time. Yummy, Dave. Dave, enjoy them, man. Don't chug, sip water, retains it better. Good idea. Good idea, man. I thought I had it for a minute, eh? I thought I had it. I was really scared for a second there. But I think I was like at a caloric deficiency or something. Caloric deficit, I should say. Owens got me on that word deficiency now. So I thought I was at a caloric deficit because, man, I was just feeling bushed. I thought it turned out, I think it was like a blood sugar thing that made me feel like I was just falling to the floor, man. But I feel better now. Good memory. I've been installing my own bathroom in my basement. I use the Saniflow system. Nice, dude. Nice. How's that going? Patrick, so is that all you're doing? Oh, Patrick, you were saying you were on a job site doing custom homes and that it was like was it a 7-person crew you were saying, something like that? Are you guys still doing that? Or was it just like greenhouses? That's right, greenhouses. Are you still doing that, or is it just homework right now? Going to the house doing the Santa Flow system. All right, I don't remember if I put in Santa Flow. Any good? Do you recommend, Patrick? I'm sure you're using that ProPress wherever you can, you know what I'm saying? You got to come up and send that to me, fam. Wouldn't mind. Scallops by David. That's not bad, man. So what's been going on in the plumbing world? Kenny, you thought about a Zoom chat? Let us face-to-face questions. Yeah, Dave, I remember you bringing that up. I'm glad you reminded me. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to think about that. That would be really cool. Have you ever seen other creators or YouTubers do something like that? Because that's a pretty interesting idea. And then can I upload it to YouTube? Yeah, man, awesome. No digging, everything above ground, no ejector pump. Awesome, dude. Awesome. There's nothing more tiring than digging. Digging can kick your butt. You can record it. Okay, so we do this at a separate point, and then I'd upload that as a video. That's a good idea. Dave, that's a great idea. I'm going to see if I can hop on this Zoom thing and figure that out. That would be pretty cool. Peeps that are here right now, would you be down for a Zoom thing so we could talk all together, find out what's been going on, and you could ask me questions directly? That'd be interesting, eh? So, Dave, how bad? Hell yeah, okay, Patrick. Cool, man. I'll see if I can set something up. So, Dave, how bad are you aching to get back on the job site right now? You must be wired with energy. You would have to invite people who can do it with you. Not sure how to do live. Call in. Oh. What's the O, David? I'm not sure what the O is there. So, Patrick, are you still working during the week at this greenhouse thing, or are you just doing you just working at the house right now? Peeps, everybody that's here in the channel or in this video, you can hit that thumbs up button for me if you can. Also, ask me some questions. It is totally open. The floor is yours. Whatever questions you have, I'll do my best in answering. Thank you for that thumbs up. Oh, yes, ready to get back to job. Doing side jobs, but still want to do more. Yeah, really busy. Just started a new build as well. Okay, Patrick, good, man. It's good that you're keeping busy. David, yeah, dude, I'd be aching right now to get stuff done. I bet if you live in a house or an apartment, if there was any work around that place, you got that done many weeks ago, I'm sure. So Kentucky's slowly opening up, you were saying. I think you were saying that even last week, which is a good thing. So is your own plumbing company, Dave, is the plumbing company you're working for, is that like a union or a non-union plumbing company? Are you guys you're just waiting for your boss to call, or is it the entire union has to make an executive decision to make this happen? Nenad, how are you? What's going on? I hope you're well. Nenad, are you doing plumbing right now, or are you thinking about getting into it? To Dave, you're always sending me money. I love you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. David did a super chat. Peeps, that option is open for you. It's basically going to be money that's collected so I can get editors to help us out, basically, and get more content out to you guys. By the way, I do have a vlog coming out tomorrow. Patrick, New Jersey is getting very pissed at our governor. Small businesses want to open up. Patrick, are the numbers bad, though? That's the question I have. New Jersey, man, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. I hear stories about certain states really taking this lockdown really poorly, not enjoying that their rights are being taken away to go and do whatever they want to do, basically. Is New Jersey one of those states that's kind of like, dude, it's our right to go do whatever we want. If we want to get sick, we'll get sick. Non-union, our company specializes in university dorms as well as other commercial, but university dorms is our bread and butter, so COVID restrictions very hard to deal with. Okay, so universities are definitely locked down. But Dave, here's the question. Are universities open right now? Because if they're not open, then in theory, you guys might be able to put a small crew together. I don't know. That's just an idea. Is that a thing? Patrick saying, my sister-in-law is a COVID nurse, only 90 patients. Oh, okay. I'm in high school. I'm going to be in the plumbing trade soon. Nenad, awesome. Make sure you get your high school diploma Most places that have apprenticeships require a high school diploma. I think you're already going through that process, which is fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that plumbing is something that's on your list of things to do. Is this your last year, Nenad, or is this your second last year, or what's going on there? So, Patrick, if your sister-in-law is a COVID nurse and she's only had 90 patients, it seems to be doing well, I guess. Can I project that with what you're saying right there? Not for students, but for others there. But we almost have to wear the full monkey suits to do work. Safety having issues with requirements from school. I see. Okay, so they're very regulated with the schools right there. Peeps, we got 10 of you, 11 of you in here. Hit that thumbs up if you can. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, there's always an option to do a super chat. Whatever you feel like, it goes straight back to the channel. I appreciate any of the support that you've been giving me. Hit me up with some questions. I want to know more about you, what's been going on, how you've been feeling, how's COVID treating you. 6 thumbs up, you sweet creatures. Oh man, can we get 12? I'm seeing 12 people. You're in grade 11 right now. I wanted to do plumbing because my brother is a journeyman electrician. Very cool, Nenad. Very cool. That way you can have an electrician and a plumber in the family. I see what's going on. Joan, hey bro, my name is Joan. What's going on, Joan? How's it going? You doing any plumbing right now? You have any questions? Hit me up. David again? Ryobi sucks, just saying. Oh, David. David, you're spoiling me, fam. Thank you. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. Who were we talking to? It was Nenad. Okay, so Nenad, you're going to grade 12 next year. Nenad, oh man, you're probably done high school for the semester, for the year, I assume, right? Normally what I tell people when I meet them, meet high schoolers, I typically say, look, it might be a good idea to maybe get a summer job at a plumbing company if you can swing it, you know what I'm saying? But with everything going on with COVID, I don't even think you could even start applying. Maybe depending on where you're living right now, that might be an option if plumbing companies have opened up and they're working and whatnot. So that's an idea, Nenad. If you can get in and just try it out for a few months, or for at least a month or a couple of weeks, that might be an option for you for the summer. You're based in Guelph, Ontario. Wow. Okay, so you're close-ish by. Dave, going back to work next week. DRS, go to work. Nice, Dave. Nice. Glad to hear that, man. You excited? You sound excited. David, I think he has a good head on his shoulders. Brother electrician, so he's going to be a good plumber. Yeah, Nenad, that's a great setup right there, fam. I know a lot of people. I met another guy that I used to work with whose brother was a carpenter. And he goes, you know what, and I'm going to become an electrician. That way we can do homes together. We can flip houses and stuff like that. That's a great idea, especially if you got a good working relationship with your brother, man. That can't go wrong with that. Guelph, Ontario's a mighty beautiful place to be in right around now. Guelph's got some wonderful parks and stuff like that. We were in Guelph just last summer, actually. So hope everything's going well in Guelph, and I hope the school year treated you well, and I hope, honestly, man, I just hope that all this shenanigans ends soon. And I'm just talking about this stupid virus, you know what I'm saying? So Dave, you're going back to work next week. You must be excited, eh? What else? Joan, what's going on with plumbing wherever you're at? Are you a plumber? Are you thinking about getting into the trade, or what's going on? Hit me up with any questions that you have, peeps. We got 8 thumbs up. Dave is excited. I'd be excited too, man. It is tough not working. It is super, super tough not working. There's nothing worse than being pumped full of energy, but not being able to expel that energy. So, Dave, I hope you've been keeping busy with walks and whatever, man. I'm really happy you're getting back to work. That's going to be a big relief on your shoulders. Just be safe, of course. David. So I got 2 Daves in here right now. We got Dave and we got David. David, Kenny, I know your personal opinion as well as I guess professional, but let's talk gaskets for toilets. Wax versus the rubber ones. I still love wax. Provoking Comedy, just finished my 3rd year plumbing apprenticeship. Is that Wyoming? Awesome. Glad to hear it, Provoking Comedy. Congratulations. Joan, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have been working in plumbing for about 1.5 years now. Awesome, Joan. Awesome. Really good to hear that. Wisconsin. Provoking comedy, awesome. That's glad to hear. We got Kyle Fogel, Kenny. Being a plumber requires a basic understanding of electrical for troubleshooting. Have you any interesting experience troubleshooting electrical? Kyle, the only electrical that Dad and I really typically do is on hot water tanks and also on dishwashers. We don't typically do. Oh, actually, no. Dad had to do some troubleshooting. I saw him on a job site once where he had to actually call one of our buddies who's an electrician to hook up the hot water tank to the actual breaker, basically. And that was a really interesting process, and it's really important to have friends that know what they're doing. We had a question earlier though, so Dave is asking, rubber or wax? David, I gotta be honest, man, I'm a rubber gasket kind of guy. That's been passed down from my father. Wax we have on the truck though. We have on the truck just in case we have a flange that's too high, because that wax gasket can compress much better than the half-inch rubber one. The half-inch rubber one can only go so far, or else you're going to start running into some issues. But I know you love wax, David. Peeps, let me know if you love wax or if you love the rubber gaskets. Kyle, how about you? Any troubleshooting that you've been doing with electrical? I got another Kyle. Pantos, you and your old man install boilers? Not boilers, Kyle. Sorry, we don't do boilers. We only do hot water tanks. Nenad, I have a quick question. I always see they want third year or even fourth year apprentices. Would they train you as a first year? Nenad, that is the age-old question about getting into this trade. Unfortunately, everybody is looking for a third or fourth year apprentice, because at that point you're sort of at the point of skill where you can actually start producing decent amount of work. But listen, there are definitely plumbers out there that need help, that need helpers, and as a first-year apprentice, that's essentially what you're going to be doing. So all you have to do is knock on enough doors to eventually find out which plumbers out there are looking for that in their company, okay? So, Nenad, keep trying. You're going to find it. Don't worry. At this very point, if you're applying as a high school student, make sure that you let them know if you're applying that, look, I'm a high school student, I just want to be a helper, but I want to start learning the trade a little bit, basically. So, we got more questions. SEP14. How's it going, boss? I'm working as a construction site safety competent person, and my friend / coworker recommended a plumbing skill set. That's why I'm in a vocational school for plumbing now in New York. Awesome, SEP14. Awesome. Good for you. Is the school working right now as we speak? Like, in other words, is it already open in New York, or has it been on hold, or what's going on there? Oh, boy. All right, so we got one from Joan. I don't know where I stand right now in the moment. I started working in plumbing for my cousin and brother-in-law who are contractors, and one of them is a master plumber. Okay, Joan. Well, that's a good position to be in. I mean, you're working for your cousin and brother-in-law. Are you currently working, or did they have to take time off because of COVID or something like that? Dave is saying, I do a lot of electrical work, boilers, and air conditioning. Okay, cool. So, Dave, wherever you're situated, is plumbing and heating or plumbing and HVAC the same thing? Is it one trade, or what's going? Oh, no, safety in the house, PPE on everyone. Yeah, right? No safety. Nah, still pause. New York is crazy. Yeah, SCP-14, I get that. New York's numbers have been really, really scary. My heart goes out to everybody out there. I hope you guys are in recovery mode and that the numbers start dwindling and start going down, essentially. That's going to be a blessing for everybody. That was scary what happened there. So just stay safe. Did you start your course at all, SCP-14? Or, like, were you in the middle of the course when it got canceled? Or you guys doing online things or what? Yes, but New Jersey now has an HVAC license. Okay, so plumbing and heating is one and the same, you're saying, but there's an HVAC license that's separate. Dave, are you interested in that, or is that like you've done enough licenses or whatever? Nenad, next year I'm going to do co-op, and they offer at school. I'm only doing it for 2 credits and to build your resume. Nenad, that's a great idea. And also, you get to be on a job site. You get to see what it's like. You get to see what people are like. You get to see what the work is like. It's a great idea, Nanad. I'm glad you're going through that route, especially if you're interested in the trades. That's awesome. And not only that, you also get to meet 9 likes. You guys are the best. Can we hit 11? And also at the same time, you also get to meet a company from Guelph, most likely. So that's going to be great for you, Nanad. Keep that up. So David is asking, SCP-14, you in one of the 5 boroughs? Oh, Dave Goris, New Jersey plumbers can do heating. I see, gotcha. Kyle, only basic troubleshooting on my end for electric water heaters. Yeah, currently educating myself on hydronics and heating with renewable energy. Electrical understanding appears critical. Kyle, any understanding with electrical I think would be amazing for this trade and any trade in general. Honestly, you seem to be really well-rounded in everything that you've been telling me about. You said you were a carpenter at some point. Actually, that was your first trade or whatever, and eventually you got into plumbing. So, man, I think with the skill set that you have and the drive that you have to learn more and more about the trades, I think you're definitely in the right field. You're definitely in the right place for yourself. So keep up the good work, man. That's all I can say because it's really impressive the amount of things you can do. So, Joan, Atlanta, Georgia, we didn't have to take off work since plumbing is considered an essential job. Yeah, it's considered essential in a lot of places. I do know some job sites that were shut down. I know certain buildings, I know a lot of condos, for example, essentially said we are not doing any sort of renovation during COVID-19 lockdown. So those have been postponed and put to the side. I also know a lot of other renovations that have done the same thing. People got really scared in the first few weeks for a good reason. I mean, we didn't understand the data or whatever. So right now I'm noticing more and more people are thinking about taking on a little bit more work like that. But it's a very slow process. It's slowly building, you know what I'm saying? Dave is saying, but I hold both licenses. So you hold both licenses in, you were saying plumbing and heating are one license, I think, and you also hold an HVAC license already, or is that, or is plumbing and heating 2 separate licenses? I'm praying I can get a job right away after high school and get my foot in the door immediately. Nad, look, going the route of doing co-op is going to be a big benefit to you because on your resume, you're going to be able to put a company down, right, and say that you did co-op there. So yes, 2 licenses. Awesome, Dave. Dave, there you go. If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing for show. How come you don't have a gas ticket? Well, here in Alberta, Canada, when you... Oh, cancel. When you go to school 4 years, you get both gas and plumbing ticket as well as both Red Seal and gas and plumbing. So if you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Here in Ontario, it's not the same. I know Alberta has a longer... Every Alberta plumber I talked to was saying that it's not a 9,000 hour license. I think it's longer. It's like a 10,000 hour license or whatever. But you guys do plumbing and heating at the same time. In Ontario, it's not the same. Plumbing is one license. Heating is a separate license altogether. So it's a little bit different for us. But you and I write the same Red Seal. So there were a lot of questions on the Red Seal about heating. If you wrote it, you already know this. And that was a big learning curve for me because we get some basic heating in our final year here in Ontario, but it was a little bit tough. I had to really sit down and hone in on the heating stuff because I just don't know enough. I don't get my hands on it enough. Like your videos of the working van tour. Angel, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That video took a long time to edit. That's why it's like a half an hour long, but I thought it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people seem to like it. So let me know if that's what you peeps are interested in. I could do other videos like that and on different tools and whatever. Joan is saying, I do commercial and residential plumbing, but mostly commercial. We work all materials can be out there in the state of Georgia. We work all materials. You work all materials. Can be out there in the state of Georgia. Okay, Joan, good. That's a great thing to know. That's a great thing to do. Get as many materials under your belt as possible because the more you know, the better and more versatile you're going to be as a plumber. Dave is saying gas is with plumbing license. Oh, okay, so it's the same for you, Dave. The gas and the plumbing license are one and the same. Yeah, it's like that in a different province here in Ontario as well. I think there might be multiple provinces that do that, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but definitely in Alberta, it's the same. I was thinking of building my resume to the fullness I can get it, and then try applying. Nenad, listen, apply, and while you're applying, try to build it. Don't ever slow down with applications, because remember, there are people out there, there are companies out there that need helpers. They need first-year apprentices. Do not ever stop applying. Always keep applying. That way, you're going to knock on as many doors as possible, and you'll run into the potential candidate that needs a first-year apprentice, a first-year helper to be in the truck. So, yes, it's always a good idea to continue building it, but at the same time as you're building it, continue sending those out. You ever watch Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs? He's a huge proponent of going into trades instead of a 4-year degree with a mountain of debt. I believe he offers a scholarship program for young tradesmen. Kyle, I actually have been listening to Mike Rowe quite a bit recently. There are a couple of news shows that I follow. Mike Rowe's been on, and I saw a conversation with him talking about what he thinks is a bad thing, that people have limited certain things to be essential services and certain things not to be essential services. So I saw that conversation. It was really interesting. Mike Rowe, I think I've seen a couple of episodes of Dirty Jobs. He is such an educated cat. Every time he talks, it's like my brain has to process that language. You know what I'm saying? So he's very impressive to listen to. And what a timbre in his voice. Am I right? If that guy could sing, that guy would be an amazing singer. Am I right? So anyways, I do watch Mike Rowe. Yeah, he's a big proponent of going into the trades. I think Mike Rowe has a similar background to which is he has a university degree as well. And I went through the university route, came out with a degree, went straight into the truck, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I do watch him. He's really fascinating to listen to. He's really, really intelligent. So, does plumbing involve a lot of welding work? So far from the 2-week schools, it was mainly about measurements and calculations for pipe fittings and welding for a small project. So, SCP-14, there is some welding work. And look, I got to clarify the word welding. We do soldering here in plumbing. A lot of times you're soldering pipes together. So some people call that welding. We typically on the job site call it soldering. So we do that for sure. In regards to welding, like arc welding and stuff like that, there is I don't know enough, but I think cast iron sometimes is welded. Oh, no, that might not be up to code. I'm not sure. So I have heard of welding taking place in plumbing. Sometimes it does, but that's not something typically done on the job site. It's usually prefabricated from everything I heard. So there is some stuff, definitely. What was the other question? Is about measurements and calculations for pipe fittings. Yeah, that's definitely on it. That's definitely a lot of things you're going to need. And welding for small projects. So SCP-14, were you talking about soldering? Nanad is asking, how long did it take for you? I think you're asking me, how long did it take for me to get a job? If that's the question you're asking, it didn't take me long at all. I'm working for my father. So my dad didn't even have a helper. So I basically just said, look, if you want to take me on, I'm ready to work, sort of thing. So that's how long it took me. But it typically takes a lot of people a few months to get jobs. And then, every once in a while I hear of plumbers that message me going, dude, I sent 3 resumes, I got 3 responses right away. So, right, okay. So Dave is saying, biggest 8 line I ran, 8-inch threaded joints. Boy, Dave. That's a big pipe right there. How do you thread that bad boy? You need a machine to thread it, or is that a big pipe wrench that you're just sweating around? David is saying, don't give up, Nanad. Even once you get into the system, some companies say commercial plumbing is not compatible with residential, so don't get down if you want to go to a new company, etc. David, I agree with you 100%, Nanad. That is good advice. Just keep sending them out. Keep looking for companies that you're going to be happy with. So in Ontario, you have to get a gas ticket separately. Would you consider taking your gas? So if you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing for show. I am thinking about doing gas. I am. It is separate, as you've already guessed, and I've tried explaining. It's a weird process though. Like it's basically you gotta, and I don't know, because it's a separate license. I'm not sure how it works with the hours. I have a buddy of mine who was doing his advanced plumbing, and at the same time he was getting his gas license. But the thing you got to know is the company he was working for does both gas and both plumbing at the same time. So in other words, he can register those hours for the trade. But I think I can go in and get I think it's called a G3 or G1, your very first one, basically. And I think it's just schooling work, basically, that you have to get done. And then you got to challenge the exam for that level. Joan, I want to become more experienced, and 7 months ago I felt ready to start working with other people, so I separated from my brother-in-law, so I asked my cousin to start sending me other jobs. So Joan, how long have you been working? Have you been doing plumbing for a long time, or has it just been with your family, basically? David is saying, we do welding on the big pipes and the gas pipes. Okay. Joan is saying, where I didn't have someone all the time looking over my shoulder because I felt I had a little confidence on the job when he was around me. So Joan, was this person micromanaging you? Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay, so SCP-14, indeed, soldering. Thanks, boss, my bad. No, it's okay, SCP-14. No worries. A lot of people call it welding. A lot of people call it welding as well. We typically call it soldering as plumbers, basically. So, yeah, you're going to be doing a ton of soldering in your career, especially if you're not going the ProPress way. Don't get Patrick started on that. Dave is saying, no welding on cast iron. We'll split with the heat. Okay, good to know, Dave. I think here we're not allowed to weld cast iron either. That's cool. Kyle is saying, although I got cut short due to COVID, I was taking a welding class, and it definitely stepped up my soldering game. Union plumbers down here learn welding, and they do teach it in PHCC training manuals. So here's, peeps, let me get a little bit more detailed about welding as well. So in plumbing school, in our first year and second year, you do welding in school. They actually give you a welding course. They take you to a welding course, and in the welding course, you learn how to arc weld, basically. You got to wear that big helmet. You got to learn to carry that stick, and you got to bring that stick across. I had a lot of fun learning it, to be honest. It was really, really fun, and if you're meticulous, you're going to find it a lot of fun because you can get that bead to go nice and smooth. A lot of times my stuff came out like crap, but it was always fun trying to get it to come out nice. So we did learn welding, and the reason why my teacher said we were doing that was because there were instances where you had to weld. It's not typical. It's not a common everyday thing, but usually one plumbing company has either a welder they hire or somebody in the company that knows how to weld, and that's for companies that do prefab work. So Dave's saying yes to threading. Boy, that must have been exhausting. Have you ever heard of Chuck Barron on YouTube? Of course I've heard of Chuck Barron. He also has 2 boys that work with him. I think it's one or 2 sons that work with him. Of course, I check him out all the time. He's a great cat. Seems like a really nice guy. Does vlogs like me. Absolutely. David is a fan of Chuck Barron as well. Shout out to Chuck Barron if he ever sees this. Loving what you do, buddy. Dave Goris, large die, then universal connection, then pipe machine. Yep, that sounds about right, Dave. Kyle saying, funny that gas is separate up there, all-inclusive in a plumbing license here. I'm looking to phase out threading and into Viega Mega Press. Oh, is Viega Mega Press similar? KillRob98, what's happening? What is Viega Megapress? Let me see if I could get some internet on my phone. And if I could check out Viega Megapress. Let me see that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Viega Megapress. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. I just want to see what this looks like, peeps. We got... Oh, Viega Megapress. Oh, so is this similar? Is this similar to ProPress, basically? For gas, correct. Yeah, I think, David, I think that's right. I think it is for gas. Is it similar to a ProPress? Is that what it is? Or it looks like it's almost like a shark bite fitting, like it's a slip knot? Oh. You guys got to give me deets. Kyle, what's this Viega Megapress? I'm looking at the fittings here. It looks like it's got teeth, almost like a shark bite. Never used it myself. Looks like some fancy system right there. It's like ProPress. There's an O-ring. Okay, Kyle, thank you. So there's a machine that also clamps around it, Kyle, I guess? Like a zzz, click. So I didn't get the answers from you peeps. Crimp jaws. Okay, thank you. It's ProPress for gas, basically. I got you. I got you. So, question. Can you use a ProPress machine for this, or do you have to get a brand new Viega MegaPress machine, basically? 11 thumbs up. You peeps are amazing. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yes to David. You got it. David asked 2 questions. Was it ProPress? You can use it with ProPress. Is that your yes, or is it yes to both? Might need some clamps though. Naynad, how many plumbing companies do you think are in Ontario? Naynad, I don't know. Probably a lot. Probably in the hundreds, to be honest, because most plumbers I ever talk to talk about wanting to go on their own. So every time I drive out on the street, I see a brand new plumbing truck almost every day. So honestly, a lot. But then you have a lot of major companies as well, and you'll see the big companies as well. So you see more of those trucks, obviously. If you have the 18-volt Milwaukee ProPress, you just get the new jaws. Nice, Kyle. So, Kyle, you already have the ProPress then, I think you were saying? Yes, same press tools, new jaws. Very cool. Now for a few months, I've been helping out the master plumber on a new project of 25-story building. Joan, sounds like you're busy. Good for you. I said clamps, but I meant jaws. Okay, so, man, Viega MegaPress. So, question, are they all stainless? I'm seeing stainless fittings right now. Are they always stainless? Or do you get copper fittings, or they come in different things? They are pretty, man. They are really, really pretty. I got to get on this ProPress thing. Okay, jaws. That's right, jaws. For new construction, renovations, and repair work, Viega MegaPress fittings for IPS stainless steel deliver up to 90% savings on installation time compared to welding and other conventional joining methods. What makes MegaPress stainless a better way? So MegaPress is always stainless, it seems. Stainless steel piping systems are essential to industrial operations, but shutting down production for pipe maintenance or repair usually results in major revenue loss. Welding, grooving, or threading stainless pipe connections can extend production downtime unnecessarily. Now you have an option and a better way. Viega MegaPress IPS stainless steel fittings. Cool. David is saying they are black iron, I think. Correct. At Kyle Fogel. Very, very cool. Oh, I see the press now, man. Yeah, dude. They're really nice. Kyle, do you do a lot? Viega is compatible with Schedule 40 black iron and galvanized. Awesome. Okay, so Naynad is saying, I have to go. Thanks for the good advice you gave me. I'm going to use it to the best of my ability. Naynad, best of luck, friend. Keep up the good work, and best of luck. David is saying, bye, Naynad. If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. How come you never use map gas and a hand torch instead of bringing a B-tank all the time? So, if you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. I changed it up. I'm using now a C tank and not a B tank because the B tank is a heck of a unit to bring along. So I got a Husky pouch that I roll along, and I got a small little C tank, and I carry that with me anytime I'm doing service. But I have the B tank ready and stored, so in case I have large diameter pipe I have to solder or I really need a lot of heat, I go out, I go grab that guy, get that job done, sort of thing. Angel, I've seen pipe welding in the main water lines in buildings. You've seen pipe welding? Oh, interesting. Map or nothing? What is map gas? Let me check out map gas. M-A-P-P. M. What is this map gas everybody's talking about? Even a C tank is big compared to map gas. Let me take a look. Is it propane? Hold on. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the small little propane. Not propane. Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. You know what? I have thought about it. I ain't gonna lie. I have thought about it because they look super convenient, super convenient. But here's the question I have. How long do they last? And I know that really comes down to the amount of work you do with soldering, but I'm just a little bit worried that it's going to not last long enough, that I'm going to have to constantly be switching these things out. Map gas yellow bottle. Yeah, I see it. I see it. If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. I see it. If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. How long does it typically last for you, and how many jobs a week do you say that you do soldering with? Kyle is saying, I'm still cutting and threading with a rigid 700, but the quality of fitting is deteriorating to the point where they're not even tapped at the true angles, making me consider switching to press. Kyle, press is always going to be faster, man, and if you're doing that much, it might be worth it. If everybody that talks about press is saying that you make your money back within the first short little time. You change the map tank about every week. David, okay, I got you. Solder a few times a week. I'll go a couple of months with map. Kyle, thank you. About 40. Don't quote me on exact number fixtures. Dave, Dave, David, what are you talking about there? You're about 40? About 40 jobs? Oh, about 40 fixtures? You'll change it, you'll go a couple of months with map. That's not bad, Kyle. But David changes it every week, man. Oh, David, you're changing it every week. About 40 fixtures. Oh, interesting. So you can map gas about 40 fixtures. Huh. Before you got to switch it out. Okay, so it lasts a pretty decent time, everybody seems to be saying. Here's a question that I have for you, peeps. I've seen people use map gas and solder with it, and the joints seem to come out much prettier. And I don't know if that was just a coincidence. Would you say that map gas actually burns a little bit different or heats up a little bit different, or is that me just observing and my eyes are flawed? Like you said, it all depends on how much and size of pipe, but it's good for small jobs. Smaller than 1.5 pipe, inch and a half pipe lasts a while. Okay, if you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. You know, I'm going to think about getting into that because the C tank is a little bit heavy. I mean, it's way better than the B tank. The B tank was ridiculous to lug around, I have to be honest. The moment the C tank came into my life, I fell in love right away. Map gas, though, it looks even more convenient. I ain't going to lie, I agree with you there. You also can disconnect it, reconnect it, and you're good to go. I used to use one of the blue tanks. I did a project a long while ago, which was a rolling ball rolling ball, what do you call it? Rolling ball sculpture, which is where like you make a marble roll, and it's copper line, right? You're making basically a railroad for a marble. And I was using the blue tank, the small propane ones, and they were pretty good. And it lasted me a good while. And I was thinking about map gas then as well. Map high heat propane, blue tank, lower heat. Yeah, that's right. That's right, David. That's exactly what I was talking about. All right, peeps. Oh, map gas doesn't get as hot, and you can control it better, but gets hotter than propane, blue tank. Okay, I got you. I got you. Thank you. Kyle, better flame control with a B tank and turbo torch. I get called the last of the Mohicans for carrying my B tank around. I go through a B tank every 4 to 6 months. Yeah, Kyle, I got you. And great movie. Am I right, Kyle? Last of the Mohicans. Great movie. Dave, but like I said, ProPress and Mega pays for itself. No chance of a fire. Dave, I'm with you on that one. Man, there is nothing more frustrating than opening up a wall to an old building and it's got those wooden panels coming across it and you're like, bro, I got a solder back there. Bro, we gonna keep the phone on speed dial. Keep 911 ready. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to water this wall. You're gonna have to spray this whole wall down in order for it to make sure it doesn't light up because, man, wood is ready to light up. But that's why you also need to keep with you. Do you guys keep the that black cloth that doesn't heat up, the flame retardant cloth that they have? Or do you guys just have a spray bottle and spray down everything? What do you guys go for? What do you opt for? 11 minutes left, peeps. 11 minutes. Ask your questions. Ask away. We got 10 thumbs up. What happened? We had 11 at one point. Spray bottle. David, yeah, I got a spray bottle ready to go. I like the idea of ProPress to tie in a valve on a system that is difficult to drain down, then solder everything else. Kyle, I like ProPress for that idea as well, fam. That is just delicious. Have you guys ever used Jet Sweat? Have you ever used that? Is that a tool that's even on your minds? Because if it's not, it's something I want to show to the peeps because it's such a useful tool. Jet Sweat is essentially a way of putting a valve on. Never heard of it? Kyle Pantos, it's worth the watch. David, either. My dad got me on this. Jet Sweat all the time. Kyle knows. Okay, so let me explain to you before I get on to SCP-14. So, the way it works is you take a valve and you shove it on a pipe. You usually use Jet Sweat when there's a trickle of water still coming. You can't shut the main valve for some reason, whatever it is. There's a small trickle of water. You're going to be soldering your whole life, or you're going to put in some bread and you risk, clogging up the system or whatever. Dad and I don't use bread at all. We're not a big fan of it. We just aren't comfortable with it. So he has these Jet Sweats. It's basically it's like a stick, but on the end is a rubber, I don't even know how to call it. It's a rubber. You put the stick in to the pipe. It fits into a 1/2-inch pipe, and then as you thread the Jet Sweat, it expands that rubber and it seals off. So you can take a ball valve and slide it over the Jet Sweat and actually solder one end of the ball valve so that once you take the Jet Sweat out, you can shut that valve and then continue soldering all the way to your right. Stanley, what's going on? Give me a second. Let me get back to these questions. So David and Kyle, I'm going to do a video for you all to show you the Jet Sweat. Really useful tool. They kind of are on the expensive side, but it's worth your money, you know what I'm saying? SCP-14, could you explain a life of a plumber? Do you have to drive different places / houses, and what are the differences between working for small companies and big unions? So SCP-14, if you are a service plumber, you are typically driving out to a lot of places every week or even every day. Sometimes you can go up to 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 different calls a day. I've even gone up to 5 calls a day at some point. But if you're working new construction, you're usually staying to a specific job site. So my friend Ryan, who does union plumbing, they call him out onto a job site. He's there for 6 months to a year to 2 years sometimes, depending on how long this project's taking place. So it really depends on the company you're going for. If you're working for a unions here in Ontario are typically new construction. You're going to be working on high-rise buildings a lot of the times if a high-rise is going up, or you're going to be working on whatever the unions are working on, basically. But you're building buildings and structures from the ground up. If you're working for plumbing companies that aren't union in Ontario, a lot of the times that means you are basically doing service work. Ben Weaver, what's going on? I'll get to your questions. Peeps, 7 minutes. SCP-14, don't worry about it. Joan, I have gained trust from my foreman, but also at times I feel I'm taking over his responsibilities. So, Joan, I mean, gaining trust is a good thing. Taking over his responsibilities and being able to do that person's responsibilities is kind of impressive. So it's both, I guess, a curse and a blessing because you're learning something, but at the same time, you might be taking on too many things. So maybe it's time for a conversation with this person. Stanley, do you use a steam cleaner? Stanley, no, I've never used a steam cleaner. Sorry I couldn't help more with that question. Joan, I would like to know if I need to get an apprenticeship to become a journeyman. So, Joan, it depends on where you are on the planet. Here in Ontario, you need to do an apprenticeship to become a journeyman. In all of Canada, you need to do an apprenticeship to become a journeyman plumber, electrician, etc. Kyle, how many times have you freaked out trying to close a valve with the Jet Sweat still in it? I still laugh at myself for that. Kyle, I've done that a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie. And that click the ball valve makes, man, not good. Kyle Pantos, yes, it is very cool. I'm going to do that video for you, peeps. I'm super excited for you. If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Can I suggest you try a Burnzomatic 4000 torch? It has a nice flame. I will take that Let me write that down. I don't have a pen on me. Burn-Zomatic. Burn-Zomatic 4000 torch. Has a nice flame. I'll check it out for sure. Thank you. Ankel, the black fabric. Okay, so you use the black fabric as well. I have both just in case, to be honest. Actually, I've misplaced my black fabric. I got to get a new one since I've never worked for an official company. So, Joan, if you were working with a journey person, you might be able to log those hours, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Ben, I went through your math course and took the Plumbers Union sample test and passed it easily. I'm ecstatic. Ben, dude, you just made me so happy. Oh my God, man, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for taking the course. I hope it was useful to you. Man, congratulations on passing. That's such a big milestone. Good for you, Ben. Awesome, awesome stuff, and I appreciate the support. Peeps, I'm going to plug my math course. I have a plumbing math course out for you all. You got to go to look on my last video. The links will be there, but basically it's a math course that goes through everything I learned inside my apprenticeship, all the way from basic to advanced. So check that out if you need help with plumbing math, okay? So I've always worked for my cousin, who is a contractor, but I want to make this a career. So Joan, you might need to either look into what it takes to get your apprenticeship, which it sounds like you might need to look that up, and also find out if you're working for your cousin. Oh, your cousin just a contractor. I don't know, Joan. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Usually, in order to log your hours here in Ontario, you have to be working for a licensed plumbing company. So you need a journey person to be working over you and watching over you, basically, to be able to log those hours and put them towards your apprenticeship. But maybe you can talk to whatever body covers the apprenticeship. Maybe they'll be able to give you some hours for working for your cousin. Who knows? Kyle's saying, my advice to anyone is to be the person people ask questions to. Anyone can buy tools. It's knowledge you get paid for. Yeah, Kyle, I agree, man. I agree. Knowledge is everything. Experience is everything. You know, you should put yourself in positions where you're going to experience things that you've never experienced it before. So, absolutely, Kyle. Experience and knowledge is really, really interesting. Really, really important, I should say. Nice tool. Thank you, Angel. Kyle, if you go map, get the Turbo Torch TX 504-503. Thanks, Kyle. I'll check that out. Can you give a discount for your course? Joan, I will let everybody know when that course is on discount for sure. But I'm not sure when it's going to happen soon, okay? NKFGH, man, I haven't heard from you in such a long time. I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time getting into the trade. Peeps, I got 3 minutes. NKF, so have you been sending out resumes? What's going on? Has COVID kind of put everything at a standstill? David, if cousin is plumbing contractor, hours should count. I hope so, David. I hope so. Kyle Fogel, math separates the real plumbers from the hacks. Offset, setbacks, rise, fitting takeoff charts all day, every day. Kyle, I got to get myself a decent fitting takeoff chart that I can carry in the truck, because I had a hard time finding a takeoff chart for some reason. And there are certain books that have them, but for some reason I couldn't find a takeoff chart on all the different things that we use, like if it's a copper fitting or if it's a ABS fitting or whatever. Peeps, we got 2 more minutes. I really appreciate the love and support. Thank you for the super chats and supporting the channel, David. You've been saving my butt. I appreciate that a lot. Peeps, if you want to support the channel, this is super chatted, so you can just find any denomination of dollar you want, and you can send it towards the channel, and I'll put that in towards making videos. Charlotte Pipe has a good takeoff book for PVC. Charlotte Pipe, man. I gotta write this stuff down, Peeps. Charlotte Pipe. What did your classmates and teachers think of your channel? If you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. My channel was very young when I was doing plumbing. In plumbing school, sorry. So in my first year, I remember a couple of my buddies were intrigued by it. They were supportive. In my second year, same thing. And in my third year, I didn't really tell many people about it, to be honest. I was a little bit shy. So that's one interesting thing about being on a camera. It's a little bit different being on a camera and then being in front of people. I don't know. I don't know what they think. I hope that I'm doing the trade justice. You know, I'm hope I'm doing it in a way that they'd be happy. I know that there was a teacher that did know about it because because in class they were looking something up on YouTube, and all of a sudden my picture showed up, and a buddy of mine in class was like, "Hey, that's Ken. Click on that video." But I'm not sure. Hopefully they're happy about it. NKF. Download the chart from Charlotte Pipe or Nipco to your phone. Kyle, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to get on that. NKFJFH, I have been calling, sending resumes to no avail. We'll keep in touch. NKF, listen, after this COVID thing settles down, listen, at some point, if it's not working out and you're sending resumes and you're calling and people aren't picking up, at some point you're going to have to step foot in the door with a resume. Meet the owners. Go up to them. Say, hey, look, my name is so-and-so. I have this under my belt. I'm not sure if you did a pre-apprenticeship, but I'm a first-year apprentice. I'm ready to work. If you need a helper, I'm your person. So NKF, that's the next step, unfortunately. Sometimes you knock on a lot of doors and it doesn't work out. NKF, also, think about applying to unions if you haven't already, because unions are really good at getting first-year apprentices in. That's something to keep in mind. Try it out and keep me posted. I want to know how it's going. Thank you, Kyle. Cheers, Kenny. Keep it up. Appreciate it, Kyle Fogel. David, you are a good plumbing ambassador. I appreciate you, David. Not good, great. Oh, what a sweet talker. And all the super chats came from you. You're the best, David. Well said, David. Cheers. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. It's Pipe Trade Handbook. Had to get it at school. Has all your pipe fitting needs. I appreciate that. NKF, stay strong, fam. Everybody stay strong, stay healthy. I appreciate all the love and support. I'll see you guys next week, okay? And I got a video coming out for you tomorrow. Keep in mind, it's a little bit artsy, but check it out. There's still plumbing in it. Much love. Talk to you later, and let's go do some delicious plumbing.